Peace, peace, peace. What's going on with the family out there? Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to the people out there. That boy, what you call tripping, ain't he? What's your boy name? Boy, your boy Chris Harris. Chris Harris exposed. Man, that boy out there bad. Got caught slipping with them silly videos he putting up. Let's check this brother out, man. Let me see what y'all can get out of this from this brother, man. Because I'm going to go full effect today. Yeah, I'm going to go full effect. And I seen him calling me, but I've been busy, baby, respecting the baby. I've been seeing the brother's been calling. Don't take it ill will. You know, brother been going through some stuff. The wifey been putting the brother through it because, you know, she just delivered the baby and the baby pushing down in that spot down there to where she pissed off and she upset. So she was getting very emotional, but it's over with now. The baby is here. So, you know, be putting up pictures on Facebook, but they haven't cleaned the baby yet. They have to wait till 8 hours. I asked them, I said, why don't you guys clean the babies off anymore? It was like a study has shown that it's best to keep the baby with those natural type of what's in that bag, supplements or whatever that stuff is that's in that bag. So they, you know, those fluids that's in that bag, it keeps the baby more healthy and their immune system more healthy for the time that they come out. So they keep it on them now for 8 hours and then they clean them up. That's what they told us. And so I don't know if they came out of St. Louis University, but I know we have some of the best doctors in St. Louis University around the world. So in St. Louis, Missouri. So I can't say that, but that was at Mercy. So I think that study they probably got out of that place. But yeah, so let me quickly get off into this video with this dude, man. Chris, boy. Do it to yourself, man. I don't know what's up with this dude, man. I've been trying to tell these brothers, man. You know, I be trying to tell them, but they could make sure y'all share it, please. Make sure y'all share. Don't be stingy, share. Please don't be stingy. Share with the people what's going on. Don't be stingy. Praise the Most High. First off, all blessings and praises to the Father. I already know. Definitely, these end times is rough though, ain't they? They rough, but at the same time, we can already see what the outcome is of just certain people. You know what I'm saying? If they don't get their mindset right. My computer moving kind of slow, so bear with me, y'all. Y'all know. Y'all know what it is. All right, so let me let y'all watch this real quick.
Brothers that run around and call themselves the Shield Squad. Is there a Christian apologia or apologetics group that run around and attack the community of Hebrew Israelites? And they attack them and attack them and attack them and say they're not pushing the gospel, right? Now, according to their doctrine, black people.
Let me start this over.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Peace, Hotep, Ashe, whatever it is that people say. All right, so you got this group of people that run around and call themselves the Shield Squad. And what it is they're a Christian apologia or apologetics group that run around and attack the community of the Hebrew Israelites. And they attack them and attack them and attack them and say they're not pushing the gospel, right? Now, according to their doctrine, black people aren't Hebrew Israelites or Israelites in general, because the word
that's a lie right there. Like that's not what we teach. Matter of fact, we actually teach that we have Jews that are black people that say that they are Jews, and we have oral traditions. We have also literature, and we also have genetics to prove that they are Jews because they share something with other groups that are Jews around the world. So if you're going to say you're a Jew, at least share something with the other Jews that we know that have been in those places since antiquities that are saying they are Jews and have the culture behind it. So he just lied right there. You know, we talk about the Bull tribe from the Limbas. We talk about Ethiopia, the Mizraim, also the Yemen Jews. You know, we got Yemen Jews that we see. Some of those North African Jews, Sephardic and the Mizraim Jews, and Ashkenazi, the Sumerian Jews, the Jews that's in Iraq and those different places. So there's many Jews around the world, you know, and what we find out is when they do a genetic study on these guys and they say that they have some type of Jew background or Jew religion that they're practicing, then we can kind of see that the very genetics actually tie up. You got people running around here saying E1B1A is basically the a Jew haplogroup or whatever the case may be. So, matter of fact, when you say Jew, you're basically dealing with either the Jew religion. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say a Jew haplogroup, but an Israelite haplogroup or whatever the case may be. And that's just not the case. You know, we can see that we have mainly these Jews or these Semitic people. They have different markers, mainly J1, J2, mainly R1B. Some may have R1B1. Uh, I believe some have E1B1. So you know we can kind of see, but mainly those that are tied up within that region, we see that genetically they share something with each other, and there's a shared gene connection between these guys. And so we never said what this brother is saying. This brother is lying off the back. So let me continue on and just um, really just go and really just deal with this brother. As you can kind of see, there's no, this brother's in the crib, right? This brother, I don't know if he wants to be a rapper or whatever the case may be, but he got the shades on in the crib, you know what I'm saying, with the Tampa Bay hat on, with the shaggy bird. That V-neck, whatever that is, that collar is super loose, super loose. It look like he didn't wore that several times and haven't decided to wash it so it can shrink back up and pop back into the V-neck shape. Look like a a loose shoestring around his neck. But we're gonna get on. I don't know if that's a might be a look like it could be a suit by the shoulders. Like you got shoulder pads in the shoulders right here, so we don't know what type of V-neck it is, but it's almost showing his whole collarbone and his whole neck here. I almost see his whole over here, but we're gonna deal with that though. Um, so the brother Chris, he gonna have to get this work, man. Shaggy Shag gonna have to get this work. So let's make sure that my sound is putting out. Matter of fact, because I did not check that. I was putting out. Matter of fact, because I did not check that. Right. So uh, yeah, so I don't know what's this new rapper profile that these brothers is doing. He came in, the first thing he said was Hotep. So you could kind of see that there's a problem with that already. But I'm gonna expose this brother and let y'all see what's really going on behind this brother's message. And I like that this the setup in there is nice, man. The crib you got, I could kind of see that wraparound goes right up flat straight into the wall. You know what I'm saying? But that's still a nice setup. Like you got a little desktop up there, a little computer up there. But yeah, it's a nice wraparound right into the wall. So when you walk upstairs, you right at looking at the wall. Yeah, man. But yeah. So let's continue on. What's going on with the brother? What's going on with the brother MBK? MBK in the house, peace and blessings. Lex Vortex, what it is? Faith Lane, what's happening? J Man, Eber, what's going on? Brian Garcia, what's up with it? You know what I'm saying? Clinton, I see you in the building. Uh, what is this right here? Ledacios, I don't know who that is. What's going on, brother? We got peace to you. We got the brother. Who else in here? Brother Jay. Peace to the brother. Seeking for life. Peace to you. So I'm just checking out Andre White. What's going on, brother? Peace and blessings. You know, I'm just checking this brother out, man. But yeah, we gonna continue on with this brother's lies. Brother, please take the glasses off in the crib. Ain't no sun coming through there, fam. I don't know if this the rapper mentality that's coming out that these Hotep brothers want to be dealing with. But we're gonna deal with this brother's sins today and put him before the Father and let the Father deal with him. Is teaching black supremacy and trying to duck behind the Bible with it and trying to be slick. And that's what you have when you deal with these brothers, man, that get into the Bible. They leave the New Testament, they go to the Old Testament, and then from the Old Testament they go to the Hotep and Hostepping. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing. So that's what we see that's going on. What's up, BA? What's going on? What's going on with you, brother? Peace and blessings. So that's yeah, he got the be. Is he preparing for the eclipse? The brother got the blue blocker shades on. He got the men in black shades on in the crib with the loose collar. You know what I'm saying? That collar's super loose. I ain't never seen a V-neck just stretch all the way down to your belly button. That V-neck go past his belly button almost. I don't know if that's a blouse, t-shirt he got on, or whatever that is, but that little hair on his face looked really weak and looked like armpit hairs on his face. It's super weak on your face, bro. But anyways, let's continue on. So we got this brother, man. You know, this brother Chris. He's been a long time coming. I see him. I see him. I see him. He's steady sneaking back with the hotepping and stepping. I see it. You leave the next. He's gonna leave the Old Testament. He say he deals with that, but he ain't dealing with that properly because he was weak in the new. Now he's weak in the old. So if you weaken both, then what happens is you go out the door, and that's what's going on here. So I can kind of see that this brother basically is sneaking back. What's going on, Sister Leader? He's sneaking back. I see it, but we're gonna have to hold this brother up in prayer, and so this brother may get the spirit and really seek truth. Um, so with this black type of supremacy mindset, right? What happens is it causes them to be the beast. That's what the beast is. The beast is the preserver of self. So the logic behind it is that if this is the logic behind it, the logic behind it is that if you are a natural person, and we are natural, but if you are too natural and you don't recognize that there is something that is spiritual about you, something that cannot be measured, um, by scientists, which we call the conscience or conscience, which is the moral faculty, which is a light to cause you to decipher between what is good and what is evil. If you don't understand that spiritual mechanism that causes you to be somehow, some way in dealing with the aspect of God, for the scripture is clear. It says man has become one of us to know good and evil. So that is an aspect of God. If you don't know how to govern yourself accordingly with that mechanism, then what happens is you end up like this brother Chris. You begin to be so natural. You end up also like white supremacy or any supremacy group out there, because what happens is you begin to be to continue to feed off the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and you begin to have that fallen nature be increased in you to cause you to feed off of everything that's moving around you. And this is why we see that most people we have like white supremacists. They say we have to preserve self, right, in order to exist in this world. So they are acting like the beast. They have the beast mentality. What is the beast mentality? The beast mentality is animals, right, that we see that are looked at in the Bible that are unclean, that feed up off of each other, that we call different nations. And these nations are unclean because they do anything to eat, as we see them doing in the biblical text, right? So they looked at in the biblical text foreshadowed as being something that is unclean, right? Now, what we see is that when these different empires uh come to a place, they have three things in common: the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. The lust of the eyes, because if they see it and it's pleasing to the eyes, it's good, they need it. Number one, the pride, because they feel that they should have it before anybody because it's pleasing unto them. And also it makes them feel good. This is the lust of the flesh. It makes them feel good, or the appetites of the flesh begin to be aroused, so they feel good. They need it. The lust of the flesh, the pride of life, and also the lust of the eye. Remember those three things. These are the way of the world. So within those things, there are subdivisions. And these are things that we see that people continue to do on a daily basis. You want to ask me, or you want to say, LaRon, how did the Egyptians fall? They fell because of those three things: lust, right? The pride of life and the lust of the eyes. Egypt was so busy looking good, right? Egypt had got in pride, got uplifted because the civilization was great. And also we see the lust of the eyes. Those three things caused that nation to fall. If you want to look and see into every ancient nation and look at the antiquities that were being showed in the archaeology, in the literature, what we see are nations that begin to dabble with those three things and they fail. So what it is these people want to preserve self. So this is the supremacy mindset. Let me tell you, family, the Torah, or if you say you're dealing with the Torah or the Tanakh, does not support such a thing. So when we say what the gospel is, we say that the gospel is something that we see that took place and that was preached unto Abraham, which is that the heathens will be blessed through the seed, which is Christ or the Messiah. Most people might look at it not being the Messiah that we see in the Bible. Chris does not look at that as being who we call Yahushua or Jesus Christ, Jesus the anointed one. They don't believe that that is the one. But there is a Messiah or a seed that is told to come that will cause people basically to be resurrected in their spirituality, and also to be resurrected bodily in a way to where there will be a material perfection. There will be a material perfection. And so when we look at this whole system, right, the whole system basically is causing people to fall. Why? Because they're operating within the natural realm too much, and they're not balanced to understand that I am a spiritual person and I must enjoin my spirit back unto God, or connect it back unto the Most High, to discern what he is saying so I can operate in the material world. They're not doing that. They are enjoining themselves to the very beast system, right? And the beast system, I love you too, son. Love you so much. The beast system is a system that is an amalgamation of people that have come together and have made league and emerged with divine deity. I mean, with deities that are fallen deities that are fallen basically, and they have emerged what we see of heaven and earth by way of fallen ideals. And these entities persuade man, and man what we do spiritual alchemy and combine or emerge their spirit with these deities that are fallen deities. And what the very people that we see that rule now, that have ruled in the past, from the ancient Egyptians, before the ancient Egyptians, before when they was dealing with tribal things, until they civilized, the motive of these people have been to control the world and to dominate the people that are less fortunate than them, so they may survive among their culture of people. So this is the beast mentality, attacking everything that's moving. The predators get preyed on. So this is what's going on. So when you listen to the rest of this, what you see is this brother teaching something that is not Torah, but he say that he is Torah centered, because the Torah teaches that God chose Israel, the Most High chose Israel for a purpose and for a reason. And one of the things that he chose them for is to be a light unto a nation, to the nations, and to be a priesthood. Now, what is a priest? What is a priest? A priest that matter of fact, we can actually look it up. Let's look it up. Let's look these things up so we can know and understand what's going on with these priests, and also the duties of a priest. Let's look it up. All right, so, and we can look it up here, and then we can also look it up in the Hebrew just as well. I want to finish looking at this. But so when you look up priest, right, it says a priest or priestess, right, from the Greek, right, teros, through Latin, presbyter, elder, right? So it means elder, or from Old High German priest, or priest, from vulgar Latin, provost, one post over others, right? So one put over others, right? Or from Latin, praepositos, person placed in charge, right? So this is a religious leader, right? And this religious leader is authorized to perform the sacred rituals of a religion, right? So what we have is a priesthood, right? From the priest, right? And this is a lineage of priests, and these priests are basically they do rituals unto these deities who they divine to, or divine deities or whatever. And so when we look at a priest, he is a mediator, and he stands in between, the gap between God or that deity and man. So he might be the one that's the oracle, or brings the oracles, where he brings the word of God. And so he's given that, he's the elder. He has that responsibility to go into this temple or tabernacle and bring back what thus said the Lord, or basically cause divine services to go forth, so that that nation or that culture or tribal people may be in a position to govern themselves by the way of that divine power. Now, when we look at Israel was a nation of priests. So who are they between? God and also the nations. They are a holy nation of priests overall, and they would have understood the priesthood because they had the Levitical priesthood, and the Levitical priesthood bear the sins or stood in the gap for the people of Israel. So to be overall a nation of priests, they would have known that they would have had to stand in the gap for the nations. This is why they sacrificed during the Feast of Tabernacles 70 bulls and bullocks or animals, and much blood was shed. So we understand that. So when you look at Chris, you would think that he would know this. He should know this. So there shouldn't be to where you hold this position and you're being led by the media that we see. The media is what's causing you to think like you think, because they know how to get a response on you, because they deal with what you call social science. Now let's look at what social science is. It's important that you know what social science is, so you can know that these studies have been done for the longest, and they've been done by white supremacists, or just either white supremacists or any type of supremacy group out there, whether black, but back in the ancient times and antiquity. But this is what we call these are what we call the global elite that's doing these things. Now, social science is the science study of human society and social relationships, right? So in order to know about human society and social relationships, you have to understand that you have to test, experiment on those things and observe. So if you test, experiment, and observe the social system, which we call in the Greek the cosmos, then you will know how to deal with people, and know what response you're going to get. So it's evident that Chris has become a product of the beast system, because he himself is responding exactly how the system wants him to respond with this black supremacy mindset. So it's evident that when you see that certain things are being carried out by white supremacists in America, to where they're doing certain things to cause to get a response from black communities or black supremacists just as well, then we can actually see that they're yielding to it. For instance, we know that the communities and the most black communities in America are suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome. In other words, after so many years and years of children, kids, mothers, fathers being separated, rape, sodomy, all types of tortures by people that said they was Christians, right? This is what they have done to bring this mentality on these people, to where when they look at the book, they say, I don't want nothing to do with this book, because they seen what these people did was supposed to be Christians was doing unto them, right? But some people took the mindset and said, I'm reading this book, but this book is totally opposite and saying different things from what you're telling and what you're doing. You're doing the opposite of this book, right? Some people looked at the book and said the very people that we're seeing that's being oppressed here are us, who was called the children of Israel, black people. Some people have done that, and you see where it gotten us today. Some people had looked at that and said we are basically a product of the system that we see, and the system is ran and backed by the power of a fallen deity or fallen deities. And they understand that. Some people took it to that sense and they sing. So you had to where you had white Christians, right, that they didn't hold that view. They didn't hold that view, and they questioned the things that were being done here, that was done with dealing with slavery. And so you always got a few. The majority you got in this world is going to be wicked. The majority of blacks, the majority of whites, the majority of Chinese, they're all going to be wicked. All of them going to be wicked. Why? Because they want to survive, and they want to basically preserve self. The lust of the eyes, the pride of life, and also the lust of the flesh. This is what's going on. See, people don't like to really hear the truth, but this is the truth. If you take all the white people off of the earth like black supremacists want, I'm gonna tell you exactly what's gonna happen, because it's happening right now with white supremacy, or just white global elites that's running the world right now. They're gonna devour each other on an international basis. White people are devouring each other, killing each other to preserve self. They are rising up against nation to preserve self. About nuclear bombs or things that's being put together to cause the evolution of weaponry, and to cause one to be preserved by the art of war. On a local level, on a national level, you have it to where you have different communities that's going against each other, whether if it's gang violence or whether if it's black on white crime, racism that's running. These are all products and tools of Satanism. That's what it is. It's to destroy you
and to destroy you in the flesh, because you're spiritually dead. You're spiritually dead. So if you succumb to the very evil that we see this out there, or the tools, or the devices, or methods of the enemy, right? Then are you rendered powerless, right? And you don't have the power of the Spirit of the Most High to overcome the evils that we see in this day. I'm not moved by the thousands that's going to fall on my left and 10,000s on my right, because it's going to happen. Because as we can see, people, they hate the truth. And if there's any truth, it comes from God, or from the Creator. One may say, well, I don't believe in God, but you better know that there's some type of intelligence, or some type of creator that has laws. And if you don't follow those laws, then there is a problem. There's a problem. Whether if it's the laws of physics, or the laws of whatever laws that there is, someone has put those laws in place, and they have boundaries. And not only that, if there is laws, then that means this person has set rules and order in this household. So when you're out of order, just expect to get dealt with. So what we have with the supremacy groups is the very things that we see is the beast, right? Coming in, getting a response out of from individuals within the system, because they know that if they can cause what do you say, population decrease, decreasing, however you call it, I forgot what they call it. Those things have to be put in place, because if people is living longer and being born, and then being born into the world faster than what they're dying, then they're taking up space. They're taking up also they're taking up resources. So if we can't produce a resource that we can duplicate, that can cause people to live, which they're trying to do. Let's duplicate food. Let's all of these generic modified foods. You know what I'm saying? Let's do that. But it causes problems. So they realize we have to preserve for self. We get the best. We classify people. We put people in certain positions, right? And we cause them to eat off of each other. Now, if you was wise and you was smart, you would know and not succumb to that, because you're being tested. You're being ushered and introduced to the very beast system. That's what's happening, and you don't even realize it. You're coming into the very beast system, and with that system, it said, the biblical text says that if you take on that mentality, it will cause you to be able to buy, sell, and trade. So now we break off into economics, religion, and politics, because the beast system is accepting the mystery Babylon system, or religious system that traces back all the way to the New World Order, which is what we see in the Garden of Eden. And what we see in the Garden of Eden, an order that was given by a new order that was given by a different thought of mind than the order that was given by the Creator, right? So this is a new world order. And then that stemmed and followed on to the destruction of a whole world system, social system. And then we move on to the Tower of Babel incident, which was a new world order and a government system just as well. So when you have one people, one language, then you have one culture, by the way. Languages is what languages and separation is what causes people to be diverse in their culture, and diverse and pick up culturally things by what they may be introduced to in their land and what they have to survive in that land or in those different regions. Some people may be similar. They might use the same things for survival, for perseverance, but some people may not. They may have a spiritual, they may be culturally different in their spiritual aspects. But for the most part, they do recognize that there is some type of spiritual entity or force that is over all things. Rather if they may feel that it's different deities that's causing all things to function, and they put personalities behind those deities, but they realize there is force behind the very world that we see. So when we look at this system, right, this system that we see, or that we see that these guys are succumbing to, has caused certain situations between those that are below them, below the global elite. And this is an amalgamation of people. Remember, they can't do it by themselves. If you look for the elite people that's among the blacks, you look for the elite people that's among the whites, you look for the elite people that's among the Chinese, that's among the Russians, or different other different other cultures of people, and you bring them together, and they all come together to represent their people because they are the leaders, and they all have some type of common goal, or something that is mutual. To where they can basically to preserve self. Some of the people are there to represent their people, and they really mean that. But some people realize that, hey, my family got to get it before your family got to get it. So this is the supremacist mentality. So to counter white supremacy with black supremacy is just foolishness altogether. Why? Because it's illogical. It's silly thinking. And the reason why it's silly thinking is because you're doing the same thing that they're doing. And matter of fact, if you really look back in antiquities and really look at our ancestors, they was doing it. They was elites that used religion, economics, and politics to conquer those people that was in those lands. Because remember, Africa is different countries of people, different many diversities of people are in Africa. They're not the same people. Whether you think there is, they're not. There are a lot of similarities, but for the most part, there are a lot of things that are distant from these people. So if you ran up on somebody, you didn't understand their language, and you couldn't communicate with them, and y'all got the common goal to get something that y'all need to preserve y'all life, y'all better make means on trying to arrange some type of peace or some type of war, because somebody got to get something what they need. So it got to be some type of communication, and the lack of communication causes destruction and also separation. So we see that there's some type of lack of communication. So when you deal with social science, it's basically studying people, observing them, testing people. And this is what's being done by the global elite and also those people that are with those people, which causing their people to be at a state and causing the less fortunate people to be at to be the workers or builders. See, you got your people that benefit off the plans of the pyramids or these high places or these towers. They are your builders. They are slave builders. But then you got the architects, which is that deals with the mindset that benefit, but they need the slaves to build. So you have masonry builders that are fallen builders, that are slaves. But you also have master builders, right? That are builders that are building mentally, mainly, and also able to build materially just as well. Those are your master builders. Christ was a master builder. Those that are believers should be master builders. They should know how to build the temple up literally and also spiritually. So hopefully y'all understand that. So the very thing that we see that this brother is doing, let's click on it and play, is he's playing right into the hands. He's right in the grip of it. That's why he's teaching the very things that he's teaching. Oh, I'm a coon, right? But you the one that's in the grip and in the hand of the beast system, and the media has you, brother. Because what y'all ever thought about why they put court cases, why they pay people to put court cases on TV, trials and different things is going on in the world? The devil is the prince of the earth. And that should mean something to you. It's getting your mind twisted to be angry and sin. That's what it's called. The Bible says be angry and sin not. It's causing you to be angry and sin, but it's only a test. And if you don't realize that it's a test and you don't overcome that test, then you will succumb to the beast system, and you will be introduced to the mark of the beast, and you will be an animal in this system, attacking everything that's moving because you want to live. not understanding that you're being tested, that even until your death, you should not succumb to evil. You should not have to do wickedness just to feed your family. The Bible is true. He said, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out the mouth of God. Yeah, you do need, yes, you need bread to preserve yourself, but if you're going to kill me or degrade yourself or demoralize yourself just to get bread, you're wicked, because you exist as a spiritual being that is housed inside of a material vessel. Check them out.
Hebrew Israelites does not appear anywhere in the scriptures. It's just Israelites. And what they do is they give these long, drawn out bullshit videos. And what helps support their cause is they only read Paul's letters all day long. They don't read none of the law because they feel like it doesn't exist. They don't read any prophets. They just read Paul's epistles, okay? And it somewhat validates them, okay? But anybody knows, if you know me, you know how I feel about Paul's letters. That's all they are letters, okay? Paul was not a prophet. Paul was a man that said he saw Christ, okay? Millie mouthing all the time. But that's not my point. So my point is, you got these group of young souls or brothers that push this somewhat, it sounds like an agenda. So Negroes in America can't claim their position to be Israelites. And I understand why. Because used in that vocab alone is good white folk. Good white folk. He good Christian white folk. That's how they look at him. Good Christian white folk. That's stupid. To you, the Most High tells you that.
Now, what he's about to do is he's about to use the Bible and duck behind the Bible to support his mindset, right, of this beast mentality. That's what he's doing. So he says, oh, because we believe that they good white folk. You know what I'm saying? They good white folk. So if you can see, he's pushing towards this type of black supremacy mindset, but he's using the Bible. Many men have done this. Many men have done this, have used the Bible to push their agenda, their false agenda, and this is what Chris is doing, right? Now, eventually, as you can see, his profile picture is Malcolm X, right? Hold on, you guys, because they up here fighting, it looked like.
So what? What's wrong with that? He said he's a. That's stupid. Because my question would be to you, the Most High tells you that he's a father to the fatherless, you idiots. Negroes or black people or so-called Negroes or so-called black people were coming forth saying that they're Israelites. So what? What's wrong with that? He said he's a father to the fatherless. Y'all don't read. Y'all confused because y'all reading Paul's epistles. Even Peter or Kepha told you don't do that. All praises to the Most High. I'm going to call y'all out because I don't hide.
Right. So here's the problem. We don't, if you notice, we attack the one West. But reason why we attack the one West, because the one West is out there teaching people that only, and they don't even know if they Israelites. And so they're out there on these street corners telling people that you have to be Israel to be saved, or the Africans can't get in. For instance, you got this brother, you got Tazaria and them going around saying, have a cookhouse, the Africans can't come and the whites can't come. So basically, Africans and all other nations and white people, they can't share what we call the gospel, which is basically the Messiah coming, right? And him coming in the flesh, right? The word of God, God being manifested in the flesh and bringing man back to the state that he was when he brought man forth and gave man dominion. They don't want that. Bringing men back to the very image of Christ, basically. In the image of Christ, which is a new man, actually. A new man, right? So, you know, they don't want for those people to be born in the image of God, right? They look at the collar though. Look at the collar. We can see the collar all the way down. Now we can almost, this is all open chest. I don't know what type of V-neck that is, but that V-neck looked like a, I'm telling you, it looked like he pasted his face on a black t-shirt. That chest is so open. It like that little portion of his face and his neck, like he just took that and just copied and pasted it right on the black t-shirt. That t-shirt, that collar is super open. That boy tried to get him like about 5 or 6 words about that mug before he washed. But yeah, so we can kind of see that these brothers are teaching this weird doctrine. Yeah. So this black type of supremacy type of talk, right? So anyways, this is what we see this going on. And then you got the brother Mikael Ben Israel, he following right behind the tracks instead of him not peeping what's going on. So he said, oh, we believe that vocab is good white folk. You don't even know vocab, brother. You don't even know him, right? At all. Is an apologist, and he's been dealing with apologetics for the longest. And so when you look at it, he's dealing with he has had debates against Muslims or dealt with their information. He has had dealt with different type of information. You know, if you go and look at some of the stuff that he's been dealing with, and he's put that out there, you know. And so when you look at it, any textual critics, he's basically trying to deal with. But when you're walking in your neighborhood or when you're somewhere and you see these people yelling and screaming and they telling you this white cracker or you this African booty scratcher, African stink, and you know they rub doo-doo on their faces because this is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing. And so the white man is the devil that the Bible talk about. All of these things that we see, right? Now, one would say, hey, look, bruh, the Bible don't teach that. And so when you got brothers like Vocab stepping up because he believes that his foot, or he's a fellow heir of those believers
the first fruits. He's a fellow heir of those of Christ, and he's he's a joint heir with those believers. Then of the promise, he's going to get out there and proclaim the gospel, because that's what he's supposed to do. That's what I'm supposed to do, especially when these brothers is on these street corners yelling. So when you say, oh, I know what you're doing, I know what you're doing, yeah, he's doing the very works that he's supposed to be doing. If you out there teaching that folly and that foolishness, you're supposed to get called out. Called out. Bottom line. So then you got Mikael Ben Israel stepping up. They don't even know this brother. You got this brother Chris Harris stepping up. All of these brothers really is doing this for the sake of pride. They're not doing it for Christ at all. Or they're not even doing it for Torah's sake, because Torah represents pro-righteousness. That's what it represents. It represents righteousness. The Torah don't care if you Israel or you another nation. If you disrespect that Torah and what it's teaching, then it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Bottom line. So even under the Torah, you are under strict guidelines, right? That we see up under the Torah, when it talks about a distinction. It is a distinction between the nations, because of the separation that's there between the nations up under the Torah we see, but it's for a purpose, because it's showing you within the first 5 books the history of man, and to where we come to the dispensation of law, basically. Now, the Torah, well, I'm gonna say the law of Moses that God gave to a people to help them governize themselves, it made a distinction between the Gentile and also those that were Israel, right? Even though they still had one law, there was still some distinctions that was definitely there, right? So we understand that. But overall, it's telling you that these people are sacrificing and bearing the iniquities, right, in the manner of what Christ was going to do, but not with perfected blood, but because Christ did it with perfected blood. And they are doing those things for the nations. That's what they're supposed to represent, or be a power of attorney representing on earth to represent the Father in heaven, right? They had the oracles. They had the advantage over the nations because they were given the oracles of God. The Jews had the advantage. So you would think that they would understand what their mission is, but they don't understand what the mission is. So if you are calling yourself an Israelite or whatever you're calling yourself, you should be doing the work of the Father, and that is to broadcast, and represent the Messiah Christ, which is the word that has been made flesh. That people may be led to the bright light, which is Christ, the bright morning star. So you have to understand that people ain't doing that. So the very thing that this brother teaching out his mouth is illogical and fallacy. He's taking the mentality of the beast system to try to destroy the beast system. No, bruh. When you become the beast, you're taken over by the beast. Do you understand that? You already been introduced to the very mark, which is a mentality before it's a physical aspect. See, let's get their mindsets before we can get them spiritually detached from the Creator. Let's get their mindset. Some people already is spiritually detached, but some of these people that have witnessed the light came into the truth and then go right back out the door. Right back out the door, not seeing. It's all open collar, like this brother's t-shirt. So that's the whole thing, man. You know, that's the problem, man. So this is what this brother is teaching now.
He's not teaching pro-righteous. Now, if you look on this page, everything that he got to promotes violence. And notice also too how the global elite is putting a lot of slave movies out in America to show Black America. They're doing that for a reason. They're doing that because they want you to go look at it. They want you to get mad and do the things that you're doing and get a response out of you so they can make more of you slaves, right? Slaves, put you in jail, get free labor up out of you because you're going to go do something stupid because you're going to succumb to the beast. You're being tested and don't even know it. And God is allowing them to test you to see how you're going to respond and to see if you're willing to put down that naturalism and pick up some spiritualism and be led by the Spirit of God, which will cause you to live. You are spiritually discerned. You cannot comprehend the things of God. You are carnal. So if you are carnal, guess what? You're enmity against God. You're enmity against God. You're an enemy of God. Because God is a spirit, and they that worship God in spirit and truth. A spirit has no color at all. So if there is some type of spirit or some type of device that's causing you to be like this brother, then you need to correct yourself because you're falling right into the beast system. And this brother should be ashamed of himself of how he says that he's representing Torah. Because Torah don't teach what this brother is talking about at all. The Tanakh does not teach that. There is a purpose. When you say Israel is chosen for what? If you begin to ask a lot of these clowns, the black supremacists, that's hiding behind or ducking behind the Bible for cover, you're going to begin to see they don't even know what it is. When we asked Mac, we said, Mac, what is the gospel? This brother was in the background looking it up because he didn't even know it. It took him forever to even come with it. He didn't even know it. That's a problem. That's a problem. He's more so concerned about what he is in the flesh than Christ. So when James White asks that brother Divine Ron Prospect, is it more important to be an Israelite or to be in Christ? And Divine answered like he answered. James White set him up. And I'm just like, oh man, I hope he answered this right. And when he answered, I'm like, oh man. He just didn't blew it. He blew it. But he called in to present the Israelite community and failed miserably. Not knowing that that's not, and that's why I have a respect for those brothers that really deal with the Torah, even though they don't deal with the Messiah, but they know what the Torah actually stands for when it comes to the nations. And they'll tell you, yeah, we are distinct from the nations, what we culturally do, but we realize that we're trying to go out and proselyte people. We're trying to go out and recruit people. You want a mic?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna get you one. Hold on, I got you one right here. There you go, right here. Got you one. I love that. Like crazy and stuff. I figure I put y'all in the bed at 8 o'clock. I think y'all shower, so y'all might as well get ready. Yeah, but anyways, so anyways, you know, this is what's going on. So the brother is really misrepresenting, man, for reals, man. And so when you even talk to some of these brothers, they understand what the book is really dealing with. You got people saying, oh man, this our book, this was written. Nah, bruh. No, bruh. If you say that you're a priest of the nations, this book is for everybody. It's talking about God's plan for man. they better start reading this book and really know what's going on. And it's Israel's job to expose people to the literature, to the book, so they can understand what's going on. Now that the believer, now that the Gentiles has come in, it's their job to expose the world just as well as Israel, because they both are in the marketplace and they better do work. They both are in the vineyard and they better get busy. We got to get busy out here. I ain't discriminating. Anybody can get this word. White, black, you a Jew, you can get it too. You a Chinese, you can get it too. That's how it is. I can't box the Holy Spirit in and limit myself and who he's telling me to teach or reach. Nah, I got to be willing to be open to when he tell me to move, even if I'm dealing with 4,000 people, 3,000 people. And he told Philip to move, and Philip moved and met the eunuch. I got to be on it. I got to be just like that. Teaching with this open collar on, playing games out here. Collar on. How your collar wider than your pants leg?
G-Coon, so fake, no Jabs Malone, messed up Bold Fortress. I shouldn't even say your name because you don't know anything. Brother Jay, y'all are coons and you're destroying your people with Christianity. See, I called you out and I extended my hand to you in peace and y'all laughed at me. There it is. And tell me this, when we got off those boats, we weren't Christians. Now you show me one thing that Christian apologetics has done for the black community across America. And I'll wait. Oh yeah, and shout out to Mikael Ben Israel from Hebrews in the Hood, Wall to Jericho. I want to give y'all a shout out. I want to give you a shout out because that was a wonderful put out on them brothers. It was beautiful. The last 4 minutes, killer. Killer. Love you, but like you sat up there and said, like you sat up there and treated me, it's on. We can have another debate. We can sit down and have a general conversation, and I will crucify your ass in it. Ready. All praises to the Most High. I'm out. Hey, what's up, everybody? Peace.
Right. You talking about you gonna crucify me? You need to baptize that shirt, boy. That shirt look drenched. That shirt look like you baptized that shirt. That shirt look droopy and drenched, man. You out here bad. Like your shirt like a hang glider, so loose at the collar, boy. Yeah, man. But yeah, that boy got that shirt on looking like an old open parachute by the boy, you silly out here, man, with that little them little pubic hairs under your chin. But anyways, yeah, man. So this brother tripping, man. But as you can see, this brother, he done stepped off. You know, y'all can look at it and see it. And then that is a shame though, because it's always the lightest brothers that's teaching this black power stuff. Y'all ever notice that? Always, like, and then you can look at his page. You can look at it and tell that this brother really ain't about the Torah. How you got Malcolm X up here? You know what I'm saying? And other people. Now, I'm not knocking certain things that Malcolm X taught because he taught some great things, but for the most part, you already know already that the Nation of Islam was bogus. They was bogus. I'm just gonna put it out there like that. I ain't got look. They was bogus. And when you talk about what goes on in the prison system that's dealing with the Nation of Islam, it's ridiculous. There's all the way bogus. So if this the people that you are using to represent you, then you bogus too. Because even though there was some things that you know, we've been taught some things biblically that goes against what Malcolm X was teaching. Even though he used some of the teachers from the Bible, because they always do. They always do. A lot of them been raised Christians, and so they always use certain things from the Bible to support their views or their belief system.
So yeah, man, this whole thing was bogus. And if you notice, at the end of his thing, guess who he latched on to? Mikael Ben Israel. Because he teaching the same thing too. If you listen to these people bogus. They only got something against this brother Vocab because his skin color, and because he's telling them that some of the those who are claiming to be Israelites in America couldn't possibly all be Israelites, and that's real facts. You're not going to tell people that off that in the Atlantic slave trade they only came and took Israelites and brought them to America. That's just retarded. You bogus for that now. You all the way bogus now. And so now I can't really take you serious as being a black man now. I can't take you serious. And you say, well, you hate your kind. You just ignorant as hell. That's what's going on there. You ignorant. Ain't no way that whenever you even look and you study history, there's no possible way that people ever came in and just say, we just gonna take the Israelites. Whenever they came in, even when they came in 70 AD and took those people up out of the land of Jews, they didn't just take Israelites. They took those people who was with them just as well, because Israelites wasn't just Israel. It was other people that was among them. Whoever was abiding with them or those different people around them, they took. So then also, when you look at when Nebuchadnezzar came in, he took different cultures of people into captivity. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, so it's just the foolery that we see what this brother got on, all what he got going on. So, man, I just wanted to bring that out, man, and expose this brother. This brother, we got to pray that this brother come up out of that beast system, because he definitely in it. He been watching this media, and that's what the media for. The media is to get your flesh agitated. That's why I stated before. That's why they posting. They showing, and they got, what's crazy is they got fools that's automatically doing AdSense and propaganda, putting out propaganda and doing free promotion. They're actually they didn't somehow, some way, they didn't got the social system to promote foolishness and propaganda to spread the agenda and all of this hate and violence in this world. They are being introduced to the beast system and don't even see it right there at the door. And then some people, they so distracted by drug use, because drug is a tool. It causes those people to be up under the influence or some type of substance, and to be up under that. To be up under that substance, to be up under the influence of these demonic entities. So you got a low resistant. You basically tolerate anything. That's why these people could get off on these mollies or pop these molly pills and get to doing all these homosexual acts. Why? Because those pills make them feel extra sensitive. So if they rub up against the wall, they get the humping on it, because the pills got them feeling like that. I'm telling y'all, man, that's what's going on. So we got to understand what's going on out here, man. And a lot of these brothers, they bogus. And so when you look at the beast system, they actually are putting this stuff in the communities, to allow it to take place, because they understand that if you put stuff in the communities of a community that's lack, everybody gonna tear at each other. They want you to do that. They want you to do that. So you got to be smarter than that. So we all got a role to play. If you white, black, Asian, Puerto Rican, Mexican, we all have a role to play, and that role is not to succumb to this system. And when you see this system is being pushed, you got to step up. You got to step up. White people got to step up. Black people got to step up. And you got to say, listen, what y'all pushing, we ain't going for that. Because that's what they pushing. They pushing that very system and ushering it in right at the very door. Right at the very door. So the very three things that I want to mention is the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, and also the lust of the eyes. That's what's going on out here. Now I don't waste my time doing that, you Hukanai. Once a brother witchcraft, that's one thing I do not do, because I realize that what these brothers doing is they want to get on these panels. Chris is really trying to debate people, and if he's really trying to get the truth, it's in the book. He can read it, and people have told him the truth. He get to the point to where I'll debate you. No, I don't want to debate you. We'll debate you for what? It ain't bringing glory to the Father. What's my point of debating you? It's not bringing glory to the Father at all. Listen, when I be having these debates, y'all don't understand. When I be teaching these classes, I be doing these shows, I know I'm humorous, but at the same time, I'm trying to recruit people. I thought you knew that. I'm trying to recruit people. Listen, I'm out to recruit you. That's bottom line. I ain't even gonna play. I ain't gonna try to even be slick with it. Look, I want you to be saved and delivered. I want you to be saved and delivered. To the and I see you in there, Christopher Harris. Yahukanan, then we got Tasi, then we got who we got? We got Sister Cherry in there. Peace, shout out to Sister Cherry, Mary Bennett. Man, this somehow I shouted out Andre White, shouted out Leader for Christ. Florida guy, what's going on, brother? Shouted out Jay, man. I don't know. It's a Doc. I don't know, Dakaku Knob or something like that. I don't know how to say that. Peace to your sister. So we gotta understand what's really going on here, man. A lot of these brothers is really being sucked into this beast system. And I think that Chris Harris is falling down that path. So y'all make sure I pray that brother, pray for that brother, because one minute they'll start taking the Bible also as being more figurative than literal. When you got a whole genealogy that's dealing with these people, showing you where people come from, the chart of the nations and stuff like that. So we have to be careful of that stuff, because the Bible is literal and figurative. In other words, the Bible teaches you how to conduct yourself by way of your spiritual mentality when it's connected with Christ and into the material world, because you are a material being. So if your thinking is stinking, then how you think is gonna manifest in the material world, because you a physical being. But when you leave this body, those same principles of good and evil exist outside of this body. Those same principles of order and chaos exist outside of this body, because we see that there is fallen ones amongst us. So therefore, you better make sure you're on the right side. This is a test for you. This is a probationary period. You're put in this flesh to see how you will respond in the flesh and how you will govern yourself before you move on to the next stage, which is coming into being changed into the very image of Christ, which is the word of God that came in the flesh. So being transitioned right into the image of God, which is Christ, the word. And basically, you know, deeds or the works of the flesh that we see because of the nature that's saturated in us into doing. We got to stop that stuff, man, for real. So my thing was my thing is that I started having problems with y'all brothers when I started seeing that y'all hearts was not right before God. Now, how do I say your heart wasn't right before God? Because I'm able to sit back and say, man, I don't too much even deal with Calvinists and what they teach. But for the greater good, I see that what they said with dealing with the brother who they debated, James White, and then I forgot the brother's name, and then what Vocab was saying and what these other guys were saying, it was correct. So I said, you know what? I said, in all truth, they saying some correct things. Now, I disagree with certain doctrines that they teach, but for the most part, they saying some truth. And truth has no color, no faces. Truth is truth, and all truth comes from God, from the Creator. So if you seek truth, then you need to be pro-righteous. You can't be biased to the fact of what color they is, because now you have basically you have now how do you say it, you can't judge properly now. You can't even be put in a position to judge properly, because you're not judging by the Spirit. It says he that is spiritual, judge of all things. You're judging according to the flesh and nothing by the Spirit. You're looking on things that's outwardly and not looking on the things that's inwardly to see what's really going on. And the Spirit gives you the ability to do so. So that's what Israel was doing. It's in Psalms 82. This is why they was looked at, and in Psalms 82 dealing with the divine counsel just as well. You're looking, judging things pertaining to the flesh, not by the Spirit. If you're going to judge things pertaining to the flesh, at least do it by the Spirit. But you're not doing that. So you all out of order. So we need to talk about what is truth. We need to talk about what is the gospel. The gospel is concerning the seed. And this seed is talking about the grace and the mercy that Christ has bestowed on the heathen and everybody. Talking about the good news, great tidings. What is the good news? The liberty that Christ has brought to set men free and give them the dominion which they lost from the first time. Glad tidings, good news. What's the good news? To set the captives free. You've been spiritually bounded or tied up in a knot and oppressed, depressed, suppressed, compressed. Every press that there is, Christ can get you about that situation. The Messiah. You need to understand that. What's going on, Bleedo? So that's the whole thing, man. It's really understanding what times that we in, man. That TV, it'll kill you. It'll kill everything about you. It'll have you so carnal. You'll be so indoctrinated with what you see in the media. And understand the media. I can edit all types of information to make you believe anything. Stuff in the media is you're not getting everything. You only, even when you're getting it from black media, even when you're getting it from white media. The media is basically there to cause division, to cause you to indulge in the flesh. And that's what these brothers is doing. That's what you're doing. You indulging in the flesh. Y'all better understand what's really going on. That's why they show you these court cases on TV. Judge Judy, Judge Mathis, Michael Brown case. All of these cases is to get a response out of you, or to cause you to feel away to where you just demoralized and destroyed in the spiritual realm. You destroyed. Your mindset is destroyed. So now you got this hatred in your heart, and the Bible just told us yesterday when we was reading that faith working by love. So you don't even know how to really the world has changed you so bad to where all you do just go around just hating on your brother, hating on your sister, hating on everybody. That's what you're doing. You just hating. That's what the Bible says. Mother gonna turn against father, brother against brother, sister against sister, children against their mothers. The house gonna be divided for the word of God, because the word of God is gonna really just gonna come and really show people what they really is. And either you're gonna conform to it, or you're gonna be hardened to it. And you're gonna be the beast out here. The beast, mentally and also spiritually wicked. So this what this brother is teaching. That's why he come on Hotep, whatever all the other stuff he said, because he really finna step off into the Hotep. Y'all just don't see it. He been thinking about it. He been thinking about it because you can see it. You can already see it. And then ever since he has left Christ, have y'all noticed his attitude has changed? I don't know if y'all ain't seen it, but I see it. His attitude didn't change. That's what I got to say on that, though. I'm finna get up off of here, get my kids ready for bed. And peace and blessing to the family out there. Make sure y'all lift that brother Chris up in your prayer. Make sure y'all lift me up just as well. And let's just stay prayerful and do the work of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And get these people back and try to win as many as we can to Christ before this world go to where it's going, because it's heading that direction. So we got to try to, you know what I'm saying? Get as many as we can. So we got to work, and we got to keep on working. Please make sure y'all subscribe and make sure y'all share this page. You know what I'm saying? And we just going to keep working. And I expect y'all to work with me. We all in the vineyard. We all in the market. Let's work together. You know what I'm saying? Whether you SEAL Squad, SOG, whatever the case may be, let's work together. Let's work together. We already stated, if you believe you're an Israelite, we don't have no problem with that. But don't try to take certain things that you believe, right, according to the flesh, and try to put that on somebody else. We're not saying that nobody that's in America that's black is not an Israelite. We're not saying that, because we also have found people that came into the slave system that we found that we can trace back genetically to different other Jew tribes or tribes that's around the world, Israelite tribes, that they have something in common with them. And they came into the slave trade. That's what people not telling y'all. We got stories of those certain things. Vocab even pulls certain things up. Faithful pulls certain things up of the people that they had something in common with. The same they are Jews today around the world. That we can see genetically that it traces back to. These people not even knowing. They just, you know what I'm saying, took a DNA test and seen that they had the gene in them. And you better have some type of Middle East marker, some type of Semitic marker too, just as well. A lot of you brothers ain't even got no Semitic marker. Y'all just got sub-Saharan, sub-Saharan, and no markers that show that we can see that there's some Semitic markers just as well. But anyways, I just want to say peace and blessings, man, to the family out there. Let me see. Peace to Nicole. Yeah, but make sure y'all click and subscribe. I guess, Nicole, you can go back and listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Debate Talk for You. Shout out to Sal Showtime. Yes, the baby was born. My wife at the hospital right now.
I was there earlier. I'll be back tomorrow, but I had to come home and get my son off the bus and get them ready for school. Well, get my oldest ready for school, and man, Levi gonna head back up to the hospital tomorrow and go back up there. But I think she got all the pictures in her phone, the video. My phone been tripping; they won't get a charge, so I've been trying to get it, get another charger because my charger is messed up, I believe, or something like that. So we working on that right now. Yeah, so we'll have some pictures up here soon. But yeah, my daughter, she here. She is here. I appreciate it. South Showtime. Shout out to Debate Talk for You, South Showtime. Make sure y'all go over there and check out my seven series over there, the seven dispensations of man. Also, some of my debates over there that I had. Also, the rest of the content that's over there. Make sure y'all check out that hot seat I'm gonna be having. September, I believe it's matter of fact. Let me look at it. I think it's September. Let's see, the 29th, I believe. Let me look at it. I can make sure that I'm correct. Yeah, it's gonna be I'm sorry, October the 5th. It's gonna be October the 5th on a Thursday at 8 p.m. Make sure y'all go over there and check that out. I'm gonna be in the hot seat for a little bit. 60 minutes of fire. Uh, the season 8 begins September 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Right. So my time come Thursday, October the 5th. Make sure y'all go over there and check out the Debate Talk for You, man. That's why I learned a lot of my information from just as well, just by listening to them brothers that know how to teach over there. But listening to some of them debates as well too. So peace and blessings to the family out there. Most High bless. Uh, like I say, man. Uh, I'm gonna make sure y'all hold to what this book's saying. Peace.